Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. They are my initials. Professional witch. Professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, 24 and a half years at the time of this timeless recording. Author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It's available on Kindle. There's a Kindle version of it. There's a link in the description box. If you would like to preview it for free, you can. You can catch a little whiff of some of the things I've learned in my very, very long career in magic, miracles, and mysticism, not just the past 24 and a half years. Yeah, so if you want to preview it for free, check it out. Link in the description box. I'm also a creator on Patreon. Big time. Love it. Best thing ever. A members-only subscription platform where I get to set my own levels of subscription, the benefits that I give them, and I got a lot to give over there. Mystical artist that I am. I live stream every morning with an unlisted YouTube live stream links on my patrons. Chat with me. I do it from the couch using the laptop, cup of coffee, bathrobe, talking about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications of that weather, the spiritual implications, always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing to send us on our way. And it's my favorite way to start the day, and maybe it might be yours too. They get all the extended readings, all the part ones here on YouTube and on Vimeo. On YouTube, part twos are on Vimeo. We love Vimeo on demand. Thank you, Vimeo on demand. But all of my subscribers, all levels, get not just the morning live streams, but the extended readings, as well as we've been adding and doing more and more recorded Zoom events, classes, workshops, hangouts. Really, really cool. Record it so that if the patron can't make it, they can watch it back. A lot of advanced content they get before everybody else. You know what? It's just a field day. I love it so much. And I ask you please to just go have a look. Just go check out. Go see what the Mal, if you go smell what the Mal is cooking, because I'm the Archangel Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. Just call me Mal. Yeah. Hi, 3 letters is easier than all of that, and I'm very, very happy to be in service. I have so many Aquarian friends. So many of them are artists on one end, and so many of them are like, you know, tech people on the other, and some of them are in between, I guess. So very, very happy to help the Aquarian Collective. If you're new to the channel, this is actually kind of a 3-level of power reading. There's a video in the description box from Carolyn Myss, MYSS. She's a PhD, author of many things, but particularly in this context, Sacred Contracts, where she talks about the 3 levels of power, archetypal lenses through which to look at different levels of your life. Eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, right? The 3 levels of strength, intensity of scent, if you want. In this case, we're looking at your life purpose, work, career, and vocation, your survival intuition, your creative intuition, your visionary intuition, your physical power, your mental, emotional power, spiritual power as well, and your mystical power. Chakras are involved. I'll explain it as I go. That's why I do the prayer and the meditation and the breath work before doing these, and just say it through me. Cross the T's, dot the I's. And here's the T. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's only 13 cards. Some of these run pretty long, though. Try to keep them shorter. It doesn't work that way. The more you fulfill your work, career, vocation, bring it into alignment, bit by bit, day by day, the more you're shifting yourself from let's say less toxic, from more toxic timelines to more healthy timelines. The alchemy from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, that we'll see in these archetype cards. 3 elements in between, 3 atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table. So we are going to be using the last card down, the Whispers of Lord Ganesh, the Hindu elephant-headed god of success and prosperity. Pretty good for a work, career, vocation read. Yeah, money's part of it too. To help remove those obstacles. He's the remover of obstacles, and I love him. And I love these readings, and I love my aquariums, my aqua lungs. So both feet on the floor if you can. Boom. Focus on your breath if you will. And I will do the best that I can to help you fulfill your life purpose by me fulfilling my life purpose here, and maybe shifting not just our lives, our finances, and all of that to more golden timelines, but how about the whole planet itself? Please take a nice deep breath. Here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Aquarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs watching this video and receiving this reading, I need 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards indicating the 8th chakra archetypes, the archetypes functioning dominant in the 8th chakra for the Aquarian collective in this timeless read in their work, career, vocation, but we're going to read them vocation, career, work. So in their work, first level of power, survival, intuition, lower 3 chakra dominant, right? Literal world, physical power, relationships in the world. Second level of power, their career, heart, third eye, crown, dominant, creative intuition, what they yearn for, what they burn for, the psychological world, spiritual, mental, emotional, and willpower, throat chakra, emotional power, heart chakra dominant, and their vocation, 8th chakra dominant, visionary intuition, symbolic power, mystical power. Let's see what hit the table. That last one just popped right out, and I see why it did. Oh, wow! Well, these are in the title. So I am excited to read this. You've got the guide in your vocation, the Avenger, totally in your career, and the Lover. But the Lover ain't all about, romance. Just saying, doesn't mean it won't be, but first 3 cards down now. So written on this card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute, the lead, the gold, the pain, the peace, the toxic, the healthy. And if you're seeing this part in the world, right, the lead, this is your opportunity to heal this within yourself, all 3 levels, and you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? It can come and go in a day, less actually. And as you alchemize that within yourself, you shift the timelines, and so there's less of that lead and more of that gold for everyone. That's how it works. Yeah, no, it's like Stephen Hawking meets the ancient Vedics. It's a lot of math. Please don't make me do it. So the guide, there are 9 families of archetypes. The guide actually can have a foot in 2. This does happen every now and again. The guide can have a foot in the wisdom family archetype or the divine family archetype, and you will see why. The Avenger is an action family archetype, not to be confused with the masculine family archetype. There is quite a bit of difference between the two, because in your work in the 8th chakra, you've got the Lover's archetype, which is a masculine family archetype, even though they depict a woman on it, because it is energy going out. So I really wish people would start saying yin instead of feminine, and yang instead of yang instead of masculine, because otherwise it gets gender political, and archetypes aren't. They just aren't. Anyone can have these, and I'll keep saying it until I'm dead, probably. So let's break these down. This is the most we talk about any of these cards. All the other ones kind of go by a little quickly. So let's talk about the guide. Like I said, wisdom or divine family. The shadow attribute places financial gain and control of imparting spiritual insight, right? Now you could see how that happens all the time. I mean, that's what I've charged. I've been $100 an hour for reading or spiritual counseling, even like classes booked at a place. Like, as long as I make $100 an hour, a party or whatever, that's what I do. And it's been that way for 24 and a half years, all right? And I relate to the guide. It's part of pretty much every day, at least in my work. This is in your vocation. Your spiritual calling represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. So in terms of your big deal, right? Your life calling, your vocation, right? Using your mystical part of that you have access to guidance, which you may very well be guiding others. And, do it by example, and don't answer questions that haven't been asked, because people hate that. Let's talk about the Avenger. Now, the Avenger is related to the hero. They're both in the action family archetypal family. There's a very solid line between the two of them. The shadow attribute of the Avenger, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Well, gee, do you think we've seen that on the planet as of late? The light attribute, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And if you're triggered by that word righteousness, I don't blame you, but it is the opposite of abuse. Right use, abuse. I learned that like 15 years ago. Blew my mind, right? So how your take on that word righteous, like righteous anger is usually, that's a phrase, but righteous action, right? Putting your action into right use in terms of your career, right? Kind of digging that. In your work, your 8th chakra dominant. the lover. As lovely as an archetype sounds, as toxic as it is as well, as horrible as an archetype sounds, as magnificent as it is as well. It's all a percentage scale. So the shadow of the lover, obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Now, I can see that in a work context, not necessarily romantic, right? Pouring your heart into it, pouring your heart into it, pouring your heart into it until the point where you just burn out and you're dead. As a matter of fact, not dead, but you know what I mean. I've been there, I've done that. That's part of the artist in me, certainly, can team up with the lover because I love what I do, right? You know, you don't start an S corporation. Oh God, what I would have done for an LLC. It didn't exist in 1998, right? But yeah, no, I've certainly walked through the valley of that particular shadow of the lover. The light, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So look, if you are guiding, right, and balancing the scales of justice with an unbridled passion for someone or something, a cause, right, your work in the world, this is really lovely. And really put that together, it's very Aquarian. Aquarians make amazing social justicers, right? They're willing to go out and, you know, not just online petitions, although that's big. The internet is very Aquarian, and it's their age, sort of, not quite yet, but whatever, the age of Aquarius. We're still in Pisces, folks. Yeah, that's, like I said, the most we're going to talk about those. Now, we are going to build upon that archetypal skeleton outline, if you will. 3 daughters of the moon tarot for the next 4 chakras down each. The feminine, the internal, the yin, spiritual power, mental power, willpower, choices, decisions, and emotional power. The internal alchemy, the internal laboratory. Just as these 3 cards are very vocation, life purpose oriented, this will definitely focus more in the center lane, second level of power. Please take it. You can go back and ping pong around these readings for hours. I've done it with clients as well. Been doing these for a really long time. Breathe. I've had these cards a really long time. Still point. Oh yes. As I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the east, my goddesses of fixed air, the stratosphere, the higher vision, right? That satellite, freaks of the zodiac, ruled by Uranus, because this is a prayer. Please, what's going on in their work? Lover in the 8th chakra, what's under that, right? Because the 8th sends down the codes and shifts the electromagnetic dynamics of each chakra in terms of the power, input, output, what we attract, what we repel. Very masculine, feminine, electromagnetic thing there. So got that with the lover. We're doing these face down. The Avenger in their career, what's backing that up? Heartthrob, third eye crown. And in their vocation, the guide, which is perfect place for them. Of course, them following their own guidance has to kind of sort of be part of that. So what's going on there in their vocation? 1, yeah, all right, got some earth going on here to ground this, at least on the inside. We'll talk about it, but we'll start over here. In your vocation, 8th chakra, you got the guide archetype, and we love this. It's very third eye. 7 of Blades, meditation here in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. We have a woman sitting with her husky. This is a puppy. Right, carved a hole in the ice, holding a spear in stillness. I'm moving my eyes so you know your computer or your device did not glitch, right? That stillness. Meditation is the key word, so that makes sense. I would say third eye, but it's also a choice, right? You have to choose to do that. So that clicks. The Avenger in the 8th with a court card, and it's Earth, Taurus, and you've also got a minor arcana Earth there. This is this would be the Queen of Pentacles in Rider-Waite Tarot. The Great Corn Mother, the Mother of Pentacles is called in this, and it's Taurus energy. It says it right on the card. 2nd house dynamic, life values. Inside, the things you've gained, that you've learned. No, this is a value to me. Like, you know, when you're an adolescent, it's like truth is very fluid, right? But as you grow older, just as an example, honesty becomes really important, and honesty with yourself. And I think with an Avenger, right, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society, or oneself, then this is a core value. As a rescuer, and I always send out love to the rescuers, because, you know, the ones that are really literal rescuers. The animal rescuers, right? Oh my God, how many of them? I know billions. Feels like I know all of them. It feels like, right? The EMTs, the ambulance, you know, the firemen, the police, all of those who have the rescuer archetype, right? And doing it for a living. Here you have it in your career. So if there is something unjust going on in your career, industry, your office, whatever, or maybe, you know, you're working a job so that you can do your passion and you're in charge there, then certainly there may be some vibes in there to clean up. This is where you want to check your other signs. Because usually one of these three lanes has a leverage where you tweak that a little bit and the other two balance a little bit as well. Because in your work, you've got the lovers with the 2 pentacles on the inner balance, the bull leapers, right? The juggler in Rider-Waite Tarot. These amazing women that would go into a ring with bulls, not bullfighting, it's not killing them, running at them full speed, grabbing them by the horns and flipping over them. It might be the pre-runner to bullfighting, you know, the first earlier version, I'll say earlier version of that, the running of the bulls of Pamplona. I'm not sure exactly how that is, but this deck is very well researched. So Daughters of the Moon, Fiona Morgan, go dig if you want to find out. So there is this juggling inside of you. I wouldn't call it indecision, but I would say it's like you've got this knowledge inside of you, this wisdom. You've had an experience. You went from the ace. You know what you wanted to do, the potential. You took a step, and now you're like, well, kind of balancing that inside of yourself. And I think balancing the lover archetype, I kind of feel like this is, it's not all hard third eye crown. Like, this is very third eye, right? But particularly because this is here, I'm going to put this as wisdom of the heart, right? Lub-dub, lub-dub, right? Which is also an Ewok thing, I think, if I remember correctly. So, you know, your values are probably very, very connected into what you're going through emotionally, mentally, and your choices that you make, kind of juggling that out, processing that wisdom a little bit. And usually a choice is indicated with 2s, but we'll see. Because the next 3 cards down will give us the lower 3 chakras, the yang, the masculine, outside looking in at you from the inside looking out at a person, place, or thing. It's a general read. Lower 3 chakras are about relationships in the world. Root chakra, tribes, circles of friends, your family, your ancestral heritage, you know, if you're a deadhead, that's a tribe, right? If you're a Yankees fan, that's a tribe, right? 3 or more, you're in it, it's a tribe. Second chakra, one-on-one, money, sex, and power, and that's why these readings are absolutely about paying the rent, paying the bills, you know, lining all of that up. It's also a relationship, one-on-one relationship to another person, right? Your creativity and all that jazz. Solar plexus is your relationship to yourself. Self-image is a noun. Self-esteem is a verb. Play with that. No, seriously. Play with those. Play with that concept. Really is a game changer if you take it gently. But your honor code, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, and all that jazz. Please take a nice deep breath. Boundaries. Still point. So glad my gods have a sense of humor. Yeah, well, they wrote me. As I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the east, please, beloved gods of fixed air, I love you so much. Brilliant, brilliant, bright Zephyrus gods of air. 3 cards face down for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation, timeless work, career, vocation read. Got lover in the 8th archetype, beaming down codes to the 2 of Pentacles on the inner. That's what's going down on the outer in their career. They've got the Avenger in the 8th, beaming down the codes to the Great Corn Mother. Very Demeter vibe for me, because I'm a forever Hellenist, apparently, at least in this life. But Great Corn Mother, I grew up knowing about her. My mom's a nursery school teacher. We live on Long Island. You bet she taught us about the indigenous tribes of America. So please, what's going on there? Lower 3 chakras, because it's taken a while for this card to come out, which says something with this Avenger in the 8th and Taurus on the inner. Maybe they're taking their time sorting this out in their career. And in their vocation, guide in the 8th, meditation, heart, third eye, crown. Come on, this feels like a very simple, at least doesn't mean it's easy, but simple alignment here for their vocation. What's going on? Lower 3 chakras, relationships in the world, outside in, inside out, for the Aquarian collective sun. Watching this video, receiving this reading is timeless for career vocation. Read, hunty. You're freaking kidding me. You know, my greatest skills that I have cool hair, I'm fun, I know what I'm talking about, I've studied tarot, I've been reading tarot since I'm 12 years old, I'm 54, yeah, I know I don't look at thanks. And the gods put the right cards in my hand. In your vocation, the guide. In the 8th, meditation on the inner. Well, how about that 4 swords on the outer, which is also a meditation card. A card of rest. Come on, how much fixed air do you freaking want? I would say this is your leverage, or perhaps, I don't know if it's the easier for someone in a general read, but certainly a simpler. Get up into that 8th chakra. Get up into that 8th chakra. Because jeepers creepers, Halloweepers, in your vocation, in your career, you got the Avenger, okay. And life values, Taurus, all that heart chakra kind of stuff going on there, literally with the Aquarian card. The Queen of Swords. Jeez. Fixed air. Come now. You are standing there with a sword with your life values intact. I'm talking pure, almost pure gold archetype Avenger here. Standing there in your career saying, I will not be moved. I am both irresistible force and immovable object, and I'm here for the truth. That's the vibe. Seriously, look at her. She's like, what was that again? Usually they already know the truth. Usually they already know the truth. They just want to say if you're going to say the truth. That feels definitely from the outside looking in at you, unless you're dealing with someone else with Aquarian vibe. They don't have to have Aquarius placement to have that card represent them. I know. That's why private reads are so much more precise, right? But here we go. Loving this big time, right? I have a squirrel drinking out of a statue. Have at it. Drink up, Mr. Squirrel. Well, I shouldn't gender the squirrel. I don't know it yet. Lover archetype in the 8th. 2 of Pentacles balancing on the inner. Why? Because you're about to jump off a cliff with Dionysus the Fool. Lower 3 chakras. All when it's a major arcana card, this is the only one you got. It's all of those chakras in that energy field. So in your first level of power, you are balancing yourself to take a leap of faith into something new in work. Now, let's be clear, the 0 is not the first card, right? The Fool is not the first card of the tarot. I think that's really important. The Magician is, and Daughters of the Moon, it's the Witch, and this, it's Hermes at the crossroads. It's amazing, right? So this is that pause. This is gathering your balance before initiating with the Magician in the major arcana card. So I love this. This could be a very loving balance. It could very much be about self-love too, right? Why wouldn't the lover archetype have to do with self-love and courage, right? And those values of the heart. This is so Aquarius. This is like, I have this one friend, I'm not naming names, this is a guy, right? Giant, huge, like 8'9". I love him, tech guy. I've known him for a really long time, like 35 years or something crazy like that. And I mean, a juggernaut. That's my nickname for him. Like, yeah, in X-Men, right? Marvel Universe, Juggernaut. He's lived through so much, and he's so smart, and he's a genius, but a total squishy on the inside. Do you know what I mean? I love that. Like, his heart, he's got the heart of a hero, and I tell him that all the time. He is a living embodiment of a hero archetype, and that's really, I love that in Aquarians. Let's move on, because we got 4 more cards. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you are too. Very positive, not a single womp on the table, but we're not done. Because we're going to get you 3 Matt Kahn healing mantra cards. We're not doing bookie books for these. It takes too long. We're saving the bookie book for the Whispers of Lord Ganesh. And I think now almost 3 years owning these cards, I get the vibe, but no one says it better than Matt Kahn. So you get the deck. A lot of my clients have bought the deck as a result of readings with them. Please take a nice deep breath. Because we're going to the board of directors. Still point. The board of directors, also as they like to be known, as the Ascended Masters of Life Purpose. Please, Ascended Masters of Life Purpose through the lenses of work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power, 3 cards in clarity for the Aquarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, to help them align each level of power individually and then put all 3 of them together to align their work, career, vocation little by little into a more streamlined, efficient, magnificent, divine alignment. So without looking at these, they got the Lover in their work, right? Lover in the 8th. I got a peek though. 2 of Pentacles on the inner, and Dionysus, the Fool card on the outer. What's the perfect healing mantra to help them deal with that, alchemize that in their career? They've got the Avenger in the 8th, Taurus on the inner, Aquarius on the outer, which are both fixed signs. So that's fixed earth on the inner, fixed air on the outer, right? The fertile soil, bedrock, and the stratosphere. That's pretty much a good zone to work in. So what do you got for them there to alchemize their career with that Avenger archetype? And how about in their vocation? I think a very simple, obvious vocation here with the Guide in the 8th, 7 of Blades on the inner, meditation, and 4 of Swords on the outer. So we would look at them, they'd be like, they're not necessarily gone fishing, but they've gone to an interior dimension to gather the guidance in this timeless work, career, vocation read. Thank you, Ascended Masters. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that makes sense, particularly for an air sign. Okay, let's read them. So you've got the Guide in the 8th, right? Meditation on the inner, essentially meditation on the outer, grounding your energy. It's safe to be in my body. This is a mental thing. So what aspect of safety has to do with this? It's not always about physical attack. It could be, the safety of your finances, of your life path. But that's why it's worth it. It's worth it. To feel safe in your vocation means no matter what happens or in career or work, I'm following my truth, I'm following my star, and I'm following, and in this case, my guidance. And most likely being a guide for others, right? Like, different than the teacher archetype. The teacher archetype is straight up wisdom family archetype. This can really be somebody who kind of moves people through things in their lives, even with technology. My friend is like that, actually, come to think of it. I love him. I love him so much. So grounding your energy, feeling safe, that makes sense. But only you can do that work, right? Throat chakra choice there. Go into stillness, because it's coming up again, stillness in this read. Fixed air in your career, Avenger, right? Wasn't that Birdman's bird name? That's hard to say. With Birdman, come Avenger. We got Taurus on the inner and Aquarius on the outer while we welcome surrender. There is no problem. There's only destiny being revealed. In other words, we can get in our heads and see things as problems. Now, we talk about that forever, but I do recommend The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, how it's the ego that makes things problems. The soul sees everything as situations, and the personality in between the two has to choose. Right? So that's why your life values, your bedrock values, right? Go into your heart. What's really important to you when you think about it? What goes, that's really important, particularly in terms of justice and fairness, right? Because that's you. You're sort of like a superhero. Well, a super Avenger. I know the Avengers are Marvel superheroes, but it's a different archetype than the hero archetype itself. Very different, because the hero does it as a journey, a passion for a journey of personal power. This is actually on a much, let's say a much larger scale, and I would say a more Aquarian scale, right? World peace is a bit more than I'm going to rescue a kitty for the tree, although I think one directly affects the other, because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, I would. So, there is no problem, only destiny being revealed. And look, I have rocked back and forth going, there is no problem, there's only destiny being revealed. And then later, time goes by, you look back and you say, oh shit, it couldn't have happened any other way. It needed to happen that way. Location, 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 GPS, global location positioning. Because over here you got the lovers in your work. Bull dancers, 2 pentacles, juggling that, finding your equilibrium, balance on the inner, about to jump, one would think. But hearing inner guidance, my intuition flows whenever I am still. This is your leverage. This is your leverage. Do that. This will work itself out little by little, not all at once. It's not an instant fix. Some of these programs and archetypes have been running since the dawn of, well, I mean, not the dawn of time, but the dawn of civilization. The lover, the avenger, and the guide. We've always had guides on the planet. We've always had avengers on the planet. Even cavemen, they stole our fire. Well, we're just not going to steal it back, are we? We're going to teach them a lesson, said Og to Grog, right? And the lover, come on, love is the essence of who we are, but putting that love into action here, wait, find your balance, because your intuition flows whenever you are still, and it's true, but since it's on the table twice, I'm just saying. Good. So another way to say this is that in your vocation, you're grounding your energy. In your career, you're welcoming surrender. I'm welcoming surrender. It's like, hello, surrender. There's just destiny being revealed here, right? And of course, the hero wants to manifest destiny rather than suffer fate. Gold or lead, your choice. And in your work, you're hearing inner guidance. This is lovely. Right? Oh, by the way, put it together the other way. Here, flip it over. So, my intuition flows whenever I am still. There is no problem, only destiny being revealed, and it is safe to be in my body. Do you see how that brings all of them together? Wow. Okay, all right, one more card. These readings are really long, I know. And I just have the Pisces one to do later today, and I'm a Pisces moon, so I get to make it at least another coffee for that, don't you think? I think I can have another cup. Because it's time, it's Lord Ganesha time. Let's remove some obstacles. He's magnificent. And as I said before, the elephant-headed Hindu god of success and prosperity. But I don't know, for some reason in the West, over here in the United States at least, it's always about removing the obstacles. I mean, people got them on their doors. It's the coolest thing. I love him. I've known about him for a long time. I usually call him Ganesh. Angela Hartfield puts an A on the end. It's a thing. It's new to me, but I love her work. And I love Lord Ganesh. And it's not a privilege. I'm deleting that word from my vocabulary little by little. But it is an honor just to connect with his vibe and have the cards come out. You know? So please take a nice deep breath. Still point. By the way, I don't live on the ocean. I just have the sound of ocean waves playing in the background to mute what's going on in the condo development. Thank you. As I call upon beloved Lord Ganesh, I love you so much, and I love your sense of humor and warmth. Please, one card in clarity for my beloved Aquarian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading for their timeless work, career, vocation read alignment, anchoring that light into the world, alchemizing shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, and shifting the entire planet along with them. What do you got? What is your guidance, your grace, your oracle message to remove the 3 atoms from lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, symbolically speaking, in this timeless work, career, vocation read? Belonging. 11th house is about groups and organizations and humanitarian and ism. This one came up too. One of the ones I did, I think yesterday, had this belonging, and he's riding a mouse. Maybe some mouse. To have an elephant, well, he's a god, you know. Time and space ain't exactly the same for them as it is for us. Card number 41. Shall we? Belonging. It's so Aquarian. And yet you guys will be the freaks of the universe and rebels and, you know, revolutionaries. But, you know, you belong. You belong to the light. You belong to the thunder. You belong to the sound of the words we're both falling under. Whatever you deny or embrace. I have that down pat. Benatar. Brave! I told you, I'm the fun one. Belonging. Learn to find security from within. Freaking kidding me. This is your leverage, your third level of power. Wow, in this card, Ganesha uses a mouse as his vehicle, which signifies his triumph over the ego. In Hindu mythology, the mouse symbolizes the ego, for the ego can eat away at all that is good and decent in a person. Like that. Fucking Boston Conservatory flashback. Belonging seeks to solve the predicament of the ego's own perceived separation. Since the ego has no conscious memory of its connection to others and to source, you experience a need to get out of seclusion by bonding with the people around you. These people can be your family, peer groups, your community. The ego is neither good nor bad, but simply a necessary part of you in this existence. The ego can manifest inclinations that are either more positive or more negative in nature. There are many positive aspects belonging. You develop your ability. There are many positive aspects to belonging. You develop your ability to love, connect, bond, share, and care for others. You see yourself more clearly through the mirror of relationship. It is important in belonging that you not try to seek approval from others. Through this card, Ganesha is here to help you focus on the positive feelings from being part of a community. Learn to trust, ask for help, and rely on others. And darling, I do think that's this leap with Dionysus, right? Get it together. Get your guidance together so that when you jump into most likely a community, some kind of love thing, something that's calling your passion forward, right, in the world, and know that if you go in there saying, all right, this is just destiny being revealed, I'm going to do this fair, I'm going to do this justly, and I'm going to balance these scales of justice based on my own heart, what's written in my heart. You know, it may change later on in life, right? But no, those real life values like honesty, truth, right? Creativity, like anything that you value. Because if it was external, it would be your house, your car, right? Your long-term durables, right? Second house, prosperity and abundance. But belonging, what are you going to do? You don't eat all that money yourself? No. You're going to exchange it with other people in a community. And belonging. And I love that because sometimes my Aquarians can be very isolated, very self-sacrificing, right? And honestly, very Vulcan, very Mr. Spock. The heating system came on, but let's hope that with the ocean sounds, it all just kind of blends, shall we? Let's see what happens. This may not ever happen again. If it doesn't, I'll listen to it. So, all the cards are on the table. I'm going to do a blessimation. It's a combination of a blessing and a summation. It's a Patreon word we came up with, and I dig it a lot. And then at the end, I will release all you aqualungs, all you aquariums. You want to hang out for the very end, as I tend to let the goofy out of the cage. Not that it's really all that in there. Not that it's that firmly locked. If you just bonk its head on it, and it would come out. But it's respectful that way when I'm working, because I love you. And I want you guys to fulfill your role in the divine plan, fulfill your life purposes. There's nothing like a fulfilled Aquarian. They do tend to then help everyone else do the same. Ain't it the truth? Well, let's take a nice deep breath. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. Still point. As I ask the pantheons of the divine, for the Aquarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading, and even some of my friends that may not. May they be blessed with all that they need. That in their vocation, they can really tap into that guide archetype representing the nature of the divine in life and in themselves, hence the stillness and the meditation. Why else attune to anything else when you can tune to the divine unity, the source within life and all of itself, and taking the time out to do that, to rest and grounding their energy because it's safe to be in their body. Oh, grounding some of that. Amazing. And may they be blessed in their career with an enhanced desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And who says it has to be an or? It can be a both and, because they're life values are going on here. The bedrock stuff within them, their true character, maybe not the truth of who they are in every single lifetime, but in this one, yeah. Right? It's like truth, justice, fairness, right? You know, it's very superhero, although it's an Avenger, but there they are. There they are, Queen of Swords, Aquarian card, maybe standing there holding a sharp pointy thing, an element of air in their hand, right? Really holding the beam there, really holding that vibe of justice, and it feels pretty much irresistible force and a movable object all at once, and certainly that would be much easier as they welcome surrender, the mantra. There is no problem. There is only destiny being fulfilled, just like the Revolutionary War here in the United States. It sucked, right? The Revolutionary War, right? The Civil War, like all of that, it sucked, but it was destiny being revealed. So may they welcome surrender in that way, so they are able to be a golden Avenger, because we need them on the planet. And my to-do list does not cover that. That's not in my job, that's not in my contract, but you know what it is? The lover. And may they be blessed with all that they need in their work, with great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something, which may be a community, right? That they're finding their balance within themselves, definitely that heart wisdom with their life values, part of that balanced, poised on the edge of a cliff, metaphorically speaking, to take a leap of faith. And hearing their inner guidance as they do. Their intuition flows whenever they are still, which is certainly indicated here in this third level of power, their vocation. All of these obstacles removed through belonging. Get clear within themselves, right? That they're not trying to gain approval, they're not trying to manipulate, they just have something to do. They have guidance that they're following, and they're being led into perhaps a whole new strata in their industry or in their work, or maybe a career change. Certainly that Fool card there, very dominant. Regardless, may they be blessed with all that they need to heal, to grow, to learn, to evolve, to align their work, career, vocation, fulfill their roles in their great, ineffable plan, better than anything we can imagine or conceive, and have the most fulfilling life purpose fulfillment they can have for their well-being, for the well-being of their community, hey, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So motivated. And so it is. So it is. You guide Avenger lover. I love you so much. Did you like it? Hit the thumbs up. Come on. Just you know what to do. At least your choice, right? And if you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe, because the divine won't let me stop. I asked. They said no. They said no. And if you want to, really know when stuff hits the notification bell, because the schedule shifts and changes like weather and bloat. Here at Drawing the Circle Productions, it's a witch emergency. I gotta zoom off on the broom myself. But if you want the deeper dive, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more mail, just come Patreon on Patreon already. At least go click the link and look. I can understand. It's like, well, I can't afford it, because a lot of people can't. But I'm adding tiers, levels of subscription to make it easier for people to do that. So yeah, live stream, extended readings, Zoom stuff, so much fun. Come Patreon on Patreon. So I'm not kidding. In history, we'll see. I was all along the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but until then, just call me Mal. I love you. I love my aquariums, my aqualungs. Liz, if you're out there, I love you. Angelo, if you're out there, I love you. And I'm still not naming the tech giant because he asked me not to. And why? Because I love my aquariums. And I really, really wish you the very, very... Hey, Grace, I really, really wish you all the very, very best and very, very blessed with all of this. I love you. Have at it. Hang in there. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.